drugs seized in a federal crackdown on the Sinaloa Cartel in New England.
It led to 171 cartel member arrests. These are high-level arrests.
America, the DEA just delivered the biggest blow to the Mexican cartels on U.S. soil in years. In a coordinated week-long operation, federal agents arrested 171 members of the Sinaloa Cartel, the largest drug trafficking organization in the world, right in New England. They seized over 500 pounds of deadly drugs, including 22,000 counterfeit pills that look exactly like legitimate prescription medication. But here's the most disturbing part. These cartel members were using social media to target kids, selling fake Adderall and oxycodone pills that contain lethal doses of fentanyl.
The Federal Drug Enforcement Administration says a week-long cartel crackdown led to nearly 200 arrests just in New England. The DEA says they were all members of the Sinaloa Cartel, the largest drug cartel in the world.
What is up, guys? Tyson Dela Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. This operation proves that Mexican cartels have established deep networks throughout American communities, not just border states, but places like Massachusetts, Connecticut, and New Hampshire. And they're using technology to turn smartphones into drug dealers. Let me break down the scope of this historic bust. The DEA's New England Field Division coordinated with local, state, and federal partners to simultaneously target cartel operations across 3 states, and the results are staggering.
These are from Mexico.
These are just some of the 500 pounds of drugs seized in a federal crackdown on the Sinaloa Cartel in New England.
It led to 171 cartel member arrests. These are high-level arrests, not low-level retail distribution.
In Massachusetts, 49 arrests, with Lawrence identified as a regional epicenter. In Connecticut, 64 arrests, the highest number in this operation. In New Hampshire, 33 arrests, including a major Franklin bust, which I covered in a previous video. Over 500 pounds of drugs seized, fentanyl, methamphetamine, cocaine, over 22,000 counterfeit pills confiscated, many containing lethal doses of fentanyl.
So at DEA, we determined that the Sinaloa Cartel was the biggest and most dominant cartel throughout New England. So just last week, we launched a Sinaloa crackdown operation targeting the entire drug supply network and the entire criminal network of the Sinaloa Cartel.
DEA Special Agent Jared Forget made it crystal clear. These are high-level arrests, not low-level retail distribution. We're going after drug trafficking organizations, the networks. This wasn't just about street dealers. This was about dismantling the cartel's entire New England infrastructure. Here's what makes this operation so significant. It exposes how the Sinaloa Cartel has completely modernized drug trafficking. They're not using street corners anymore. They're using the same apps that your kids use every single day.
They're on social media, they're advertising, they're marketing these pills, these counterfeit pills to young people that have no idea what they're taking. They're communicating on encrypted apps on their phone. They're paying for these drugs on their phone, and they're actually coordinating the delivery of those drugs from their phone.
Think about this for a second. Your teenager can buy deadly cartel drugs with just a few taps on their iPhone. The entire transaction from payment to delivery happens digitally. Agent Forget explained the terrifying simplicity. Everything can be done on your phone, all done just with a couple taps.
In a troubling trend, the cartel is advertising fake pills on social media and even taking payments through apps.
Uber, right? Lyft, could be FedEx, could be US Mail. One pill directly to your front door, all done, couple taps on your phone.
The cartel is specifically targeting young people through social media platforms, advertising fake prescription drugs as alternatives, using encrypted messaging apps for communication, and accepting payments through popular mobile payment systems. It's a complete digital marketplace operated by one of the world's most violent criminal organizations. Now, here's the most terrifying part of this story. The DEA showed off some of the seized drugs, and even their own agents can't tell the difference between real and fake pills.
Forget showed us some of the more than 22,000 pills and other drugs seized during the operation, like signature purple fentanyl, and some drug packaging even displaying the Sinaloa Cartel stamp.
I'm a DEA agent. I cannot tell the difference between a fake one and a real one.
Agent Forget, who's been with the DEA for 20 years, was brutally honest. I can't tell the difference between a counterfeit M30, a counterfeit Adderall pill. I can't tell the difference between a pharmaceutical grade pill and one that was made by the cartel.
I've been doing this job for 20 years. I can't tell the difference. A DEA chemist visually cannot tell the difference between a real one and a fake one. These pills are all over the internet.
The cartel is mass producing counterfeit M30 oxycodone pills and fake Adderall tablets that are visually identical to legitimate pharmaceuticals. But here's the deadly reality. 5 out of every 10 pills the DEA sees contain more than 2 milligrams of fentanyl, enough to kill the average person.
The cartels are all suppressing methamphetamine tablets, and these look exactly like an Adderall pill.
Fake pills, fentanyl sticks, methamphetamine.
And it gets worse. With students heading back to school, the cartel is specifically targeting young people who might be looking for study aids like Adderall. They have no idea that they're buying methamphetamine-laced counterfeits that could kill them. The DEA identified Lawrence, Massachusetts as the epicenter of the Sinaloa Cartel's New England operation. This isn't some border town. This is a city 45 minutes north of Boston that's become a major drug distribution hub for one of the world's most powerful criminal organizations.
When they come in these fentanyl sticks, we know they're from Lawrence, Mass.
Last week, a crackdown in New Hampshire netted dozens of arrests and $100,000.
Agent Forget explained the supply chain. What we find, the drugs typically make their way into Lawrence, Massachusetts area. It seems like the epicenter of what we're seeing in New England. And then they go from there. The cartel has established Lawrence as the regional headquarters because it's a strategic location. From there, they can easily distribute drugs throughout New England using established transportation networks. The 49 arrests in Massachusetts, many concentrated in the Lawrence area, represent a significant blow to the distribution system.
The Sinaloa Cartel is responsible for those drugs. So knowing that, we launched this worldwide operation within New England. Going after the Sinaloa Cartel meant going after the most dominant cartel in New England.
This shows how Mexican cartels have moved far beyond border operations. They established permanent infrastructure in American communities using our transportation systems and exploiting our digital platforms to poison American citizens. When you understand the Sinaloa Cartel's business model, the scope of this threat becomes even more terrifying. Agent Forget explained their mindset with chilling clarity.
It's collateral damage. So if a drug dealer, a cartel member kills somebody, it's collateral damage in their mind. They're all about making money. That's it. They want to make a buck.
The cartel doesn't care if their fake pills kill customers. In fact, it's part of their strategy. If someone survives a fentanyl overdose, they unfortunately become addicted and return for more drugs at higher prices. If they die, it's just collateral damage in pursuit of profit. The cartel is so brazen, they're literally branding their drugs with Sinaloa names. They're advertising their criminal organizations like it's a legitimate business. This shows the level of impunity they feel operating in American communities. The transformation from plant-based drugs to synthetic chemicals has made their operation even more deadly. Agent Forget explains there's been a transformation to drugs going towards synthetic drugs, which means ultimately they're man-made drugs made from chemicals. So virtually all the chemicals that are coming from China work their way into Mexico to the Sinaloa Cartel. The scope of the Sinaloa Cartel's operations is staggering. This isn't just some regional drug problem. This is a global criminal enterprise that threatens American national security.
So Sinaloa Cartel in every single state across America, more than 40 countries around the world, and obviously they're in every state throughout New England.
The New England operation was part of a coordinated global crackdown. The DEA worked with international partners to simultaneously target cartel operations worldwide. The 171 arrests in New England were just part of a much larger operation that netted additional arrests outside the region.
So we made 171 arrests in New England. We also made other arrests outside of New England. So we worked this entire global operation with DEA around the world. So there were other arrests that we worked here in New England that happened elsewhere.
The DEA has over 300 offices in 69 foreign countries, creating a global intelligence network to combat these transnational criminals. This operation demonstrates the level of international coordination required to fight cartels that operate like multinational corporations. The human cost of the Sinaloa Cartel's operation cannot be overstated here. The CDC reports that drug overdoses is now the leading cause of death for Americans ages 18 to 45. This isn't just a law enforcement issue. It's a public health emergency.
This year, the Centers for Disease Control reported while drug overdose deaths are declining, overdose is the leading cause of death.
The 22,000 counterfeit pills seized in this operation represents thousands of potential deaths prevented. Agent Forget emphasized the lethality. He says, we know at the DEA that 5 out of 10 pills we seized have more than 2 milligrams of fentanyl in them, which can kill somebody. In this operation, we seized tens of thousands of fake pills throughout New England. Folks, that is lives being saved. The cartels targeting young people through social media makes this crisis even more tragic. College college students looking for study aids, young adults seeking pain relief, or people struggling with addiction are all potential victims of these deadly counterfeits.
And I'm fearful as kids are going back to school, they may turn to these drugs. Their friends may turn to these drugs. So my message for your listeners and the students going back to school, do not take any pill that was not prescribed directly to you by your doctor.
Young people seeking academic performance enhancers or recreational drugs have no idea they're potentially buying death sentences from Mexican cartels. The fact that the world's largest drug cartel established Lawrence, Massachusetts as their New England headquarters shows how deeply these criminal organizations have penetrated our country. They're not just crossing our borders, they're setting up permanent operations in our communities. America, this DEA operation represents both a major victory and a somber reality check. The arrests of 171 Sinaloa Cartel members and the seizure of over 500 pounds of deadly drugs has undoubtedly made New England safer, but also it reveals the shocking extent to which Mexican cartels have infiltrated America.
Is Massachusetts safer today than it was just a few days ago?
Yes, Massachusetts is safer today as a result of this effort.
Agent Forget was clear about the ongoing matter in this fight.
So this is an ongoing battle, if you will, with these cartels throughout New England, going after these people that are killing our people.
The message to parents and students and communities is clear. Never take any pill that wasn't prescribed to you directly by a doctor. The counterfeit pills flooding our communities look identical to legitimate medications, but they contain lethal doses of fentanyl and methamphetamine. This operation proves when law enforcement agencies coordinate globally and target cartel infrastructure rather than street-level dealers, they can deliver devastating blows to these criminal organizations. But it also shows we're fighting an enemy that adapts quickly, uses our own technology against us, and views American deaths as acceptable collateral damage for their pursuit for profit. The 171 arrests represents 171 cartel members who will no longer poison American communities. The 22,000 seized pills represents thousands of potential deaths prevented. But the Sinaloa Cartel operates in every U.S. state in over 40 countries worldwide. The battle is far from over. Let me know what you guys think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.